Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dane and Derek. It's another morning episode. My name is Derek. I'm here with Dane, and
Hi.
we are 10 days from the end of the year recording
Yeah.
this. But
Yep.
this episode will come out 4 days before the end of the year.
Yep.
So,
Um, and
yeah.
here's the thing. We're gonna drag this podcast over the finish line, come hell or fucking high water. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm no longer manic because finals are over. But my reward, as I was just telling Derek a moment ago, for getting through finals is COVID. After nearly 4 years of dodging it, finally got me. So,
That fucking
uh,
sucks, bro.
coming at you live from my bedroom.
Oh, wait, so you're not in, like, your office right now?
No, no. I my computer's all like was all hooked up over here, and so I just went out and I grabbed my mic and things. I wanted I have like a whole setup here because I've been here for like a couple days.
Mm,
Um, and so I was like, you know what? I want to have like my water and tea and everything like very accessible, so I can like go as long as possible through this recording. Because like upside, I'm feeling pretty good, all things considered. I just uh, who knows how long my voice will hold out, for example.
yeah, true. True, true, true.
Mm.
Man, so are you like lying down in bed with like holding the microphone, or is it on a stand? Like,
It's on a stand. It's like leaning down.
oh
I'm
wow,
sitting up. Like I'm fully dressed. I just showered. Like really, truly.
wow.
I don't feel all that bad.
So
Like
you're just extra comfy.
yeah, I'm just very cozy.
Nice.
I'm a little lower energy than normal. And
Yeah.
definitely lower energy than last time, but last time was not good. That was not good energy. That was bad.
Yeah, listen to those
Um,
episodes back. You were,
I will. I was not okay.
yeah, you
I'm
you were, you
also
could
not
hear it.
okay now, but like I'm mentally much more okay.
You sound
It,
like Dane.
yeah. I feel more like me.
Yeah.
I'm upset cuz like I came out of that like I had barely made any time for anything like the podcast or Gracie or my family or friend. Like I really was not present in the rest of my life for weeks, to get through finals. And I will admit to being really upset um, that immediately afterwards I have to be sick, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I,
Especially with something like COVID. Like if it was a cold, that'd be different.
I mean, I'll be honest, I got sick, I think it was early November. It might have been late October, but I got sick with like a stomach bug, and that was like 3 or 4 times worse than this. But like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, truly, it just has the scary name. In all honesty, I just feel like I have like a head cold, maybe a very mild flu. Like it,
Mm.
I'm doing okay. I'm vaccinated. I'm here. I just
Yeah.
wanted my life back, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But how are you doing? Because, like, I don't know what other updates I've got other than finals are over and I've been sick ever since. Um,
um, I've been okay. I'm on holiday break now from work. You know, around this time, LA kind of shuts down um, until early January for like
mm-hmm.
2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
It's
There's
probably
just
good.
yeah, there's just not a lot of film to be had around this time. You know, once the Christmas releases are set, nothing to worry about. Um, because January is infamous for being like called dump month, which is when all the bad movies that didn't make the cut this year get released. So,
Woof.
um, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, like the with all the December blockbusters set and then dump month already set, like studios are mostly chilling. But admittedly, this sort of wean into the break is not as slow as it usually is, mostly because like we're out of the strikes right now.
Yeah.
Like folks got what they wanted, which was good. Um, But as a result, there was a lot of like last minute work to be had and handled. Um,
Oh,
and then,
absolutely.
yeah, and then basically it's just been like handling that, like, and then, yeah, I took an extra day off because I had a free day off that I would lose if I didn't use it. And I was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. Uh, and I just took it today and basically just doing this and then handling other life stuff like bills and Christmas gift wrapping and uh, I gotta like clean or something and then uh, mostly clean.
Are
My
you?
yeah,
What are you doing for the holidays? Are you heading home, or what's the word?
I'm staying in Los Angeles. Things just didn't quite work out, so
Mm-hmm.
staying in Los Angeles, which is fine. I've done it twice.
Yeah.
This year was a more conscious choice than the other 2 years because those were during lockdown.
Right.
Um, but yeah, staying in LA. Just my roommate Zach is back in Colorado with his family, so I'm just alone in the apartment, monitoring for packages and mail and uh, making sure that we had to get some repairs done on our place because there were some leaks and um, just some other like maintenance things that had to happen, and they all happened when I was out at work. And so Zach clued me in and was like, "If these things go wrong, yeah, you should know that they said it, they fixed it." So um, sometimes as it happens, it's not actually fixed. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully
Fingers
it's
crossed.
fine. So far, so good. It's been raining a lot, which has
Yeah.
been really nice. My car has gotten washed. Uh, and yeah, I think I'll mostly just be hanging out around here. Um, and I think my biggest plan is like, um, I was going to be spending a little bit of time with my girlfriend and then going to be also spending a lot of time working on all the things that we set out that I said I was going to do in last week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I have time to edit and stuff like that. So, which I have been doing. I've been kind of slogging away through it, but I'm not at the point yet where it's like coming fluidly.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like, ugh, what is this movie? Did I make a bad movie? I'm still in that phase of the editing process. Um,
Right. Right.
so that's
Are
mostly my
you?
holiday plans. What
Have
about
you
you?
gotten to do? Oh
Oh,
no, no. I just one quick
yeah, yeah.
question. Have you gotten to do any interviews yet, or is that a New Year's thing? Is that like a
It's gonna be a New
January?
Year's thing. So
Gotcha.
I'm
Cool.
kind of working with what I got until then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to put together a doc until you've got those interviews. If presuming it's that sort of doc.
I think it will be, but I think there's enough B-roll that like
Yeah.
I could cut together a scene or two and kind of see maybe
Yeah.
even
You.
the whole. I could hypothetically cut together the whole movie with just the B-roll, but there's enough
Mm-hmm.
footage, but I don't know how much of it will make sense.
Yeah.
And
You
so I
gotta sift through the. You gotta sift through the B roll to find what's good and what's just
yeah.
stuff happening. You know.
Yeah, and like typically like you weave that into the interviews, whereas like now I'm like kind of doing them simultaneously. So I'm weaving interviews into B-roll and weaving B-roll into interviews, which is a little backwards, but making it work.
Yeah. No, it's all
um,
good. Sorry. What did you ask me? You asked me something.
I was gonna ask like what your holiday plans were.
Well, they've gotten a little turned around.
I could imagine.
I'll admit. Uh, we're staying here, so we were gonna see my family. To some extent, a lot of friends, um, coming out. Friend of the pod, Clara, is coming out and hosting a party that I'm hoping I still get to go to.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, that's not until next week. I'm hoping that really this is just going to interrupt Christmas Eve. Which is I was planning to spend with my parents and siblings, but it looks like that may not end up happening.
Yeah.
But actually, Gracie and I had decided that we wanted to take the Christmas day, just to spend with just us. Um,
Aw,
we had originally planned that, so that at least won't get uh, upset by this whole situation.
that's good.
Um, yeah, yeah, we got to do a Thanksgiving like that really early in our relationship. I want to say like 2 years in, maybe not even, maybe like a year and a half. We just couldn't manage to get back to our respective families, so we got to
Mm,
spend the Thanksgiving together, just the two of us, and it's genuinely one of my favorite holidays I've ever had. Um, nothing, nothing against my family, nothing against anything. Just it was just kind of magic. So I always
yeah.
like it whenever she and I get the chance to do something like that. So there's that. Looks like we're hosting a New Year's Eve party. Again, hoping this won't disrupt. Knock on wood, Gracie doesn't, you know, get sick because of me. Um,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm still a little like. I often get sick after I get super stressed, um, and work myself to the bone. So I am kind of wondering to myself how sick I would have gotten, or if I would have gotten sick at all had I not been this stressed. So I wonder if Gracie will get sick or not. Um, I'm really hoping not. Uh,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's the funny thing about all of this is like, on the one hand, I'm pretty disappointed, and it could super disrupt like every plan I have over this week and the next. Especially if Gracie gets sick, because that's basically just gonna double the length of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, as much as I desperately need to catch up with people, and as much as I desperately need to see people, I've also been kind of grappling with the fact that like I might sound a lot more like myself, but I'm not back yet. Like, um, a lot of
Uh,
people uh, who I know would come out of this like swinging. You know, they'd come out being like, the best way for me to get back to being me is to see everybody. And that is
yeah.
just not true for me. The best way for me to get back to being me is to find myself again. And that means exercising, and that means writing, and that means playing the piano again every day. And that means all sorts of other things, like all these little building blocks of myself.
Yeah.
Um, and then I can see people. Uh, and I was gonna get a little bit of a chance to do that. Um, but not probably not enough realistically.
Mm-hmm.
And now, uh, I kind of have to. I'm gonna kind of have to do it a little bit longer, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Um, Still not thrilled. Definitely wouldn't choose this. But it definitely has this feeling of people clamoring at the gates, trying to get a hold of me. Um, and as touched as I am about that, in a lot of ways, I am also definitely have a feeling of like, listen, I think I deserve to get to see me first, and then probably Gracie, and then I can come really get involved with everybody else.
That's a good way to
Um,
look at it.
yeah, and I know that there's a lot of people who that just doesn't really quite make sense to them, because they operate a different way, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think there's a lot to be said for you are part of who you are is who you are in relation to people, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, it's very hard to be truly loving. Like if you think of yourself as a very like loving and giving and caring person, it's really hard to do that and be that and connect with that part of yourself. If you can't be around people to love and care about, you know.
Yeah.
And so like if you need to do that first, that's fair. Um, I am a person who tends to be pretty grounded in their like physicality and creativity, and those two things have gone far and away by the wayside um, over the last month and a half. And so until I get those things back, I'm not fully myself. So
Mm.
that's kind of my break thoughts, I guess. Should we turn to celebrating the end of the season, though?
Yeah, we did it this year though. We
We
got to
did.
26 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We Let me look at our episode spreadsheet because we were smart
Ooh,
this past year and we had a spreadsheet of all the episodes. I don't know why I didn't think to have this done sooner, but
because we're goddamn tired. That's why.
yeah.
That's why. And that is A-okay.
um, but let's see. We've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 late episodes out of 26.
Not bad.
They still aired. They were just late, and it looks like usually they were about 1 to 2 weeks later than expected. Um, yeah, or in some cases a couple days. So, but yeah, this was a pretty interesting season because we did the every other week, which I think worked pretty well.
I think so.
Um, we only had 2 guests this year. We had Taylor and we had Jen.
Yep.
Um, Taylor being returning and Jen being a new guest. Which speaking
Though
of
Jen
Jen,
has been with us from the beginning.
yes, truly. Which speaking of Jen, Dane, we'll have to email her soon.
Hell yeah.
The hug, if you're still down for the hug.
I would love that.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, we did a real interesting year because we talked about, well, at the top of the year was the OGL controversy.
Yep, that is around where we started.
Yeah.
We did some creative and law school check-ins.
Yep, we did that. We had our 100th episode this year.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
We had
Fitness.
yeah.
Fair amount about the bubble episode. Fuck yeah,
Yes,
the bubble episode.
the bubble episode. AI was this year.
Yeah,
We did another artist checkout,
love that.
artist lift episode as we call them.
We also did
our
the D&D movie episode this year.
Yes, we did. That was a wild one.
That one was really fun.
Yeah.
I really liked how we did that. That was.
Yeah.
I want to do more stuff like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. I think the weird episodes where they have a more like radio show structure are kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, I mean, it felt like it felt like we did more episodes, but I think it's because every time we recorded, we were doing like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that many like ditched episodes. Like I think we only had 1 this year. I think in the past we've had like 2 or 3. I think this year was
so.
only just the 1, which was our guess the plot of Boy and the Heron episode. Which, have you seen Boy and the Heron yet?
No, I've not gotten a chance to. I was
Okay.
really hoping to do that, like, I don't know, this weekend maybe.
Okay.
It didn't work out. I'll probably get to see it in a week or 2, unfortunately.
My recommendation is don't see it in IMAX. See it in like Dolby or something.
Okay. Why?
I saw it twice, and the IMAX screening was the worst of the 2.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. I was
Interesting.
really bummed. But yeah. I mostly think it has to do with just the theater not caring about the projection. So
Oh, yeah.
like it was just a poor projection, and that really bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the second screening, also at the same chain of theaters, but the projection was better, so it made the experience that much more fun. I would be really curious to hear what your thoughts are, because I was quite moved. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious. But yeah, overall though, pretty good season. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabletop RPG adjacent episodes.
Yeah, it sounds right. That's about, it's a little less than a third. That sounds about right for us.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot less than normal though.
I guess so.
Because
Yeah.
we also, an episode we didn't do was the best thing from all the editions of D&D.
Oh, we should still do that though.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance. And then we also had table dynamics for
Oh,
like arranging people at a table for D&D.
yeah.
I moved some of these to our season 4 spreadsheet as like episodes we didn't do last season, but that we'll
Yeah.
do this season. Which I must ask, Dane.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite episode this season that we've done, or is it the Honor Among Thieves, Dungeons and Dragons?
Ooh. Okay. I'll say this. Honor Among Thieves, most fun to do.
Okay.
Um, um, hmm. I think the 100th is my favorite, though.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
come?
Oh, I just found that a very touching episode.
Yeah.
Just the things we hit on, you and I. So
Hmm.
that made it the episode that I would pick to keep over all the others this season. The Honor Among Thieves is just that was just kind of a blast to like figure out how we were gonna do it and then to go do the thing. Like that was cool.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's interesting because this show went from like being more and more edited to less and less edited because we've gotten better at it, and so I feel like I really liked the 2 guest episodes we did, the one with Taylor and the one with Jen.
Yeah.
I feel like the one with Taylor was like a real like wild episode because it's like star chart reading, which is stuff I know nothing about.
Oh yeah, that was like way outside our norm.
Yeah, and then like with Jen, like you got to meet someone new, and I got to catch up with an old classmate like that I haven't talked to in years. So that was really nice.
That was cool.
Yeah,
That was very cool.
yeah. Um, do you have any other thoughts about this season in general compared to the other 2? Because for context, we did 35 in season 2 and 52 in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I think, the first year where first year since season 1 where we did not have those tech issues. I don't think we had tech issues this year.
Well, we did. We
We
had
did?
one tech issue right at the end with the boy in the heron episode.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't know if that quite counts as an issue
It was
so much as we ran out of well, how would you put that?
we
Like,
ran out of free minutes on our
yeah, that's
free
the way.
recording software, and
Yeah.
and then they also switched to a pay-only plan.
Right.
So
So
it's why we're on a new program now, which is why the show is a little less edited. But you know, yeah, it's I forgot about
is what
that.
is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. So I think the thing I liked about this season um was that it was what we bit off what we could chew. You know,
Uh,
like don't get me wrong, we're a little down to the minute, down to the wire on this last episode here, and like the last few I have not been in the best place. Um but we actually did it, and um I think one of the hardest things to do when you're making something is to set out to do something specific and then actually meet that goal. I think that's a really hard thing to pull off in a way that isn't overshooting or undershooting. I think the easier thing to do if you actually want to deliver is to be like, I can totally make that. Um, it's something well below your skill threshold, so to speak.
mhm.
Um, and then you know, uh, and no more, no less, right? I think that people either do that or they frequently will promise more than they can.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't want to disparage anybody for doing that. You and I do that
Yeah.
all the time, and that's a super common thing.
Mhm.
What's less common is to pick a goal that is genuinely challenging, and then actually deliver, you know.
Yeah.
Because this was a challenge, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was a challenge to be like, okay, we're gonna do 26 episodes, ideally every other week, um, and make it in by the end of the year, and we did that. And like, season 1 is 52 episodes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it, at a different point in life, um, 26 would be below threshold for us by a long shot, like
Mm-hmm.
by a long, long shot. But that's not where we are these days.
Yeah.
So what I'm pleased with is that we both had the foresight, wherewithal, and follow through. Like, and like, I think, like, in thinking about it, like, that's the goal I want to try and hit again next year. Is
Mm-hmm.
26 good episodes. Um, and I don't even think I would go stretch. I don't think I would want to stretch to be like, and we won't miss we won't have a late week,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's for me. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
Um, I can see things coming down the pipe for next year that are really intense. Like, I'm going to start studying for the bar next year.
Oh
Um,
boy. Oh.
yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. Part of the reason to start studying for the bar next year is so that it isn't quite as intense as it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll be giving myself like a year plus time to
Yeah.
be working on it. Um, you know, and I think that that's admirable. Like, I think it's good to reach for something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it takes skill. I think it takes skill to know about what you can handle, but not be 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't 100% sure uh, that we were going to find it,
Uh-huh.
especially here at the end. But we did, and I'm very proud of that. What about
Yeah.
you?
Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad. Is there a reason why you like 26 as a number?
It's half of 52,
Okay.
and 52 weeks in a year, so it means
Yeah.
that's why. That's
Okay.
the only reason. There's no
Okay.
other
I was just curious because like
fancy.
you were very adamant this year. We gotta hit 26, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, it was just a hope to,
Yeah.
like, if we were gonna do the every other week, it was
Yeah.
just a hope to be like, we made that's sort of the promise of an every other week schedule.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Okay.
that's all.
Yeah.
No other special reason. How do you feel about this season?
Good. I think this season compared to last season was better post production wise, I think for me.
Yeah,
I think like season 2 there was just so many like issues like between like all of our tech just not working, and then
yeah,
the timing was just really rough cuz you were studying to get into law school, and then
and then
like
starting it.
yeah, and then season 2, which is 2022, I also got COVID that year, and it was pretty bad. um so I was like out for the count for like a month. uh and then uh yeah, it was just a different year. Like I remember we were trying to record stuff, and like there would be days where we would get to the record day and we'd both be like, hey, actually we're both not free. Like it was just a very
Yeah,
different time. And I think this season the sort of every other week consistency has been good. It's kind of given me a little bit more of a buffer to like edit with, even though like the editing of the show now is very different than how it was when we started. Like when we started in season 1, like I'm like cutting out every like, but, and breath. And then over the course of like these last 3 years, we've gotten better at our likes, buts, and we've changed our microphones enough times that now it's really hard to discern all like some of those other like weird sound things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've also like, like managed to set more boundaries in terms of like if it doesn't make the listening experience excruciating, then it's fine to leave in. Like this is supposed to be for fun, and like, it's not our day jobs.
Absolutely.
And so like trying to make sure that I don't like nitpick our sort of like talking has become more important. And like, like we have a really good system that works now, so there's no real point in trying to like break it yet.
No, no.
And so I think like, and this season too, was a pretty good spread of episodes and ideas. I think there were some episodes where I was like, oh man, I was kind of looking forward to talking to you about Elden Ring again, but I like put down Elden Ring at one point this year, and I haven't picked it back up since. And so instead, I'm like, maybe next year we'll do a Baldur's Gate episode because I've been playing that more frequently. Like it's just sort of like things like that where it's like, we didn't get to try that episode or do that episode. And it also didn't work out for an IRL episode this year.
No.
And I don't think it worked out last year either. So I'm
No, that's
hoping
like, if anything, like if that's the real try, that would be the one that I'd
yeah.
want next season, is to do the in person, if we can swing it.
Yeah. So I think that's been the thing I've been like thinking about is figuring that out. And then yeah, I ultimately, yeah, it was a pretty good season. It was pretty solid. I think like it felt like a return to kind of season 1 vibes. And season 1, I mean, season 1 is unimaginably long.
It is, which
Like,
I think is reflective of the lockdown.
yes, I mean we had so much time.
Yeah.
But I also think about how like season 1 is like, have I told you about this? It's like 20 times the file size of seasons 2 and 3.
Is it really?
Yeah, because the program I was using was like an old audio tool, and every cut I made a new
Oh,
copy of the audio file.
I see.
And so basically, like if I make like 100 cuts in an episode, it 100 times is the file.
Right.
And I was doing so
Huh.
much editing back then because I had so much time.
Right.
And so season 1 is like, it's like, I don't know, like seasons 2 and 3 for reference are like under 100 gigabytes total. And
Huh.
like 20 times is an exaggeration, I guess, but like season 1 is like 5 to 700 gigabytes.
Wild.
Because of all the edits and all the duplicate files it made.
Huh.
Yeah, it was a wild time. And the only reason why I switched to a different editing program is so in Audition you can physically push the two clips together and it'll crossfade them.
Huh.
This
Yeah.
program couldn't do that, so
Wow, that
and
is old.
yeah, it was old. It was very old. It's also editing on my Windows computer, which as much as I do love Windows, I am more of a Mac guy these days. So it's nice to be back on a Mac. But yeah, I feel like it was a good season. It was a solid season. I think season 2 really felt ambitious in a different way. And season 3 kind of felt like we found a reasonable goal.
Yeah, I would say that like the first season, the first 52 episodes or so, like there is something about it that it's like reflective of the amount of time we had.
Yeah.
Um and after that, the energy of the second season is reflects to me the like the snapback sort of energy, the like rebound, um where there's
Yeah.
just tons of energy and tons of enthusiasm for life and all kinds of stuff. And this past season just felt realistic in a sense. Like
Yeah.
it's felt sustainable. It's felt natural, like just part of life in a sense. which I really like. Um, Partially just because I'm in a constant struggle for this, but like a more prevalent struggle for balance in my life, and uh, searching for those core things that I need. Um,
Yeah.
because I realized that undergrad was, I wouldn't go so far as to say playtime, but it was definitely a situation in which there was an extreme abundance of support and energy for endeavors of all kinds, which was great, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Um, and then my job after between law school and undergrad was a placeholder. And so there was all this space
Yeah.
for stuff. And so kind of coming to grips with the fact of like, oh yeah, all right, uh, the main chunk of my day is going to be spoken for from here on out. Um, how do I reckon with that and make sure that I'm still in there, and I'm not subsumed by work.
Yeah.
Um, and so finding that in this is gratifying. It's pleasant. I like it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, right, is season 1 we really had no idea how long we were going to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think as of like a couple episodes ago, you set forth a pretty lofty idea, um, that I think we could make happen. I'm just really curious if you've had more time to think about
Mm-hmm.
6 seasons in a movie,
6 seasons in a movie.
since then, because I'm really curious because I have some thoughts, but I wanted to pick your brain because I think that's a fun. Like we talk about how endings are just as important as beginnings, and
I
how yeah,
I think 6 seasons in a movie sounds pretty good.
yeah, exactly.
Because
Mm-hmm.
for me at least, I would think that in terms of my life, um, that will see me through the end of law school and into the beginning of that career. Um, and then a little into that, right?
Yeah,
Um, because like as much as I love doing this, there is a part of me that's like, I don't think this should be forever. You're right. Like
yeah,
endings need to happen. Um, and I do like 6 seasons in a movie. I don't
yeah.
know what a movie is in equivalent, but um,
um, yeah. No, I agree. I think it's just I think that's been like I think my curse throughout like all the creative endeavors I've had is I never. It's hard for me to like I until I set an ending, I'm like completely overwhelmed by what something could be,
yeah,
and that either leads me to either do it and commit to it more than I should, or it leads to me never committing to it. And in a
yeah,
scenario like this, I think there was a point this year where I was like, what is going to happen with this? Like we've set some really nice we've built a really nice box that we are comfortable in that I don't think we want to open up in a way. Like we don't want to like do the influencer thing and like monetize this.
no,
And so like outside of that, like okay, like where does this go? What does this become? And it it's been a way for us to catch up and collaborate. And while I think the thing I was reminded of this year was that while the show will eventually end, our collaboration and our friendship won't.
no, it won't. And I think that that's the thing. I would never call this a placeholder. But what I will say about it is it's definitely consistent and low energy, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Um, and there will hopefully, and I'd be surprised because it flares up every once in a while when we're just talking in these moments. I think there will come a time where you and I are going to want to do something more intense again.
Yes.
Um, And if this is here, I don't think that can happen.
No.
Um,
Like I think about all the other projects we've talked about doing and then
yeah,
had to kind of table as like a we don't have that kind of time right now.
right.
But you know,
But if I wasn't doing this with you, I think there
right.
would be time
There
for
would be
something.
time. Yeah. And cuz now the, you know, 3-4 hours a month goes towards a project.
Yeah,
And that is fun. That is interesting. That's different. And I think like the realization and reminder of like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. like we'll still do things is good. And I think when you said 6 seasons in a movie, I immediately went and calculated how many episodes that we would be at if we
yeah,
continue to do 26 in a season. Do you want to know that number?
I do. Yeah,
We'd be at 191.
191.
And I
Does
was
that
like,
count the movie?
that does not count the movie. And
Okay.
so this was where I was like, I remember you had pitched like the movie's like a road movie,
Yeah.
and we're like going around doing things. And I was like, I don't know if you said it, but like the idea of like the movie being about recording like the last 9 episodes to get us to 200 would be really funny.
I'd be into that. I'd be into
Um,
that. I like that idea.
because then like we can release the 9 episodes and then release the movie, and then you get this cool like behind the scenes. Because I was like, oh, that could be really fun. Like we could go drive to somewhere to go visit a friend and record with them in person, or like, um, it's like a little like it's a little like Dane and Derek trip. um,
Yeah, exactly.
and I just thought that'd be really funny and really interesting because we could kind of do. It's like because I think like the idea of like it's like ending something is really hard. How do you end something that's been going on so long? And by the time we do 6 seasons, it'll be so long.
Yeah.
We'll be in the year 2027, Dane.
Yeah, we'll
um,
be in our 30s, not
yeah,
just
and
30.
yeah,
Love that.
I know, and like life will be different. I assume between careers and where we're at with our like partners, and just
Yeah.
like the future, and so it'll sort of be like a nice. It's like how do we surmise 6 years of our time collaborating, which is like probably the most we've collaborated on a single project. Um,
Certainly.
and so like that has become interesting to me. Like I don't know, did you ever watch the uh Conan O'Brien live tour documentary?
No.
If you get a chance, you should find it. It's called Conan O'Brien Can't Stop, and it's about the year he was banned from performing on television and in film.
Why was he
Um,
banned again?
the Tonight Show. He wasn't banned; he was barred. Um, but basically, because of the Tonight Show controversy with Jay Leno, where basically they were going to move the Tonight Show to the next day, and he didn't want to do that, so they fired him or they parted ways.
Huh.
Basically, he signed a contract, like a non-compete, that he couldn't start his own show or
Oh, I
do
see.
that for like a year. And so while he was doing that, he was like, to show love to my fans, I'm going to do a live tour. Um, so he went on the road for like a year and like recorded stuff and like, um, just like the documentary is really interesting. It's just like one of his classmates from Harvard who like came and filmed this movie, and it's just very like it's like a camcorder age documentary.
Huh.
It's very much like just like in the green rooms, in the rehearsal stage, on the tour bus, and like
Yeah.
just kind of seeing insight into that. And I love the idea of like a road movie where we pack up into like my Honda, maybe find like one other friend to come with us and film, and we just go around like we plan a trip with some structure, of course, so we're not like taking like 3 months of our lives just driving around the country like a bunch of delinquent teens. But you know I think that could be a lot of fun, and then kind of see like sort of have this like tour movie, docu movie, maybe some I remember like when you pitched like Dane and Derek the movie, and I was like, oh, so we're gonna save podcasting. It's gonna be like the Smosh movie, and you were like, no, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I don't have to worry about like writing fictional versions of ourselves, which
No,
we've
no,
done
no, no.
before.
We have,
Um,
but no.
but yeah, I think we are a little we're I think if we did that, it would ruin the spirit of the show.
A little,
There's
yeah, I
nothing worse than
think.
a bad finale.
Yeah.
And so I feel like doing a finale that is like about um I like the idea of doing the finale about something very IRL, very together grounded, because we've pretty much done this show remotely this whole time, which works and it's been great, but it would be fun to do something together.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
So yeah, because I was like trying to figure out like how we could slice it so we get some some bonus episodes in there. But then basically that would mean that we would have 29 episodes a season, which is not as nice sounding as 26. So
No.
yeah. Um anyway, that was just a thought I had for the 6 seasons in a movie, which I feel like now that we've said it out loud, I don't think we'll want to take it back, or I think we'll
No,
find a way to make it work.
I think so.
Because like committing to 6 seasons in a movie is very different than committing to 191, it's different than committing to what is it, 87 more episodes.
Yeah.
Like in the event we do have to, like walk back how many episodes we do, or adjust what 6 seasons means. Six
There's
seasons could
there's
mean,
flexibility
yeah,
in the goal, but
exactly.
yeah.
It mostly just locks us into a sort of like timeline of, we know once we get to this point, we're going to have to end the show,
Yeah.
and we're going to have to, I don't know, prepare our audience of the handful of friends that still listen, which is always grateful to our listeners and handful of friends that do listen, because
Mhm.
we don't really make this show for many. We make this show for us, but it's nice to know that some of our friends listen.
Yeah.
Really warms the soul like a hot cup of cider on a cold winter day.
Oh, I could go for that.
Yeah, yeah, no. I have ginger beer in the fridge, and I was like, I should microwave that.
Should you?
I don't
What
know.
would
I
happen
I
with the
feel like it'd be,
carburation?
oh yeah, that, and
That's hot carbonated. That sounds bad.
really, I don't know.
Hot carbonation? Yeah, that does not sound good to me.
Okay,
Yeah, you try it. You let me know, because
okay,
if you say it's like there's something there, I'll try it.
okay.
I'll probably disagree, but I'll try.
Sounds good. Sounds good. But yeah. Um, here's a question
Mm.
that I've just thought about. I was watching a Rhett and Link thing, and something I realized that I don't think we've adhered to, but something that I do wonder. Rhett and Link they always present themselves as Rhett and Link. Like Rhett is always on the left and Link is always on the right.
Okay.
And their names are arranged that way. And when they intro shows, it's always Rhett goes first, then Link. They never flip. Our show is Dane and Derek, but I, Derek, introduce the show.
Yeah.
Do we think at any point in our run we should flip that?
Well, I've commandeered the show a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. um, I think it has to do with production stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is not always true. But in this particular instance, you are production lead, whatever role you'd want to call that, producer, whatnot. And so like I think it would be weird if I took command in that way, but it would be different if I were host somehow.
Yeah.
Um,
Is
you know,
that something? Is that something you'd be interested in trying?
we could try that.
Mm-hmm.
See, the reason I think my name goes first is just for purely alphabetical reasons.
I mean,
and
true.
like syllable reasons. Like it's a
Yes.
sound thing,
Yes, that is
not like
100% why I did it. It sounds nicer than Derek and Dane.
yeah,
Dane and
yeah.
Derek sounds much nicer. It's a softer sound. It makes our show sound like easy listening, which is, I think, the goal.
Usually
We want to be the
when I'm not
lo-fi
having a
hip
manic
hop
episode,
beats
yeah, no, totally.
of podcasting.
Sorry.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I was like, normally it's easy listening, and then sometimes I have a manic episode, but that's understandable.
You know what's funny is that
Um,
I can mute myself during that portion in the edit and just have that,
oh,
and
that's
then
funny.
have me be like, "What?"
What? What? What'd you say? No, yeah, no, I'd be happy to give it a shot. I'm happy
Mm,
to commandeer. I'm sure I will again at some point. Um, but like, I don't know, like, um, like I'm here and I'm helping, but I don't edit. Um, sometimes I do some scheduling. But my my burden in this show is less than yours, and so I feel not quite a guest. Um, but like you're calling me, if that makes sense.
mm.
Um,
Yeah, I
you
get
know,
that.
and so like I I I I follow your lead on that point. You know,
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I think the reason why I'm wondering if it makes sense to have you intro the show more often, or even just try it for a block of episodes and see if we like the vibe, is because you do a lot more research for episodes these days.
that is true.
That
That
is
is
perhaps
true.
the biggest thing that you contribute to the show, is that sort of, and perhaps it's because of the environment you're in, where like research is just a thing you do all the time.
All the
But
time.
I think like that has really changed the show this season. That's probably the biggest change from this season and the previous season. Was that I think in season 2 you had started doing some research for the topics, and then this season you like there were episodes where you would come in prepared with things to sort of say or bring up or talk about, and I think like that's something that has always been a part of like the DNA of what you bring to the show, and that's something that I always thought was like that is host worthy. Um,
Well, that's
to
appreciated.
yeah, like
We
host worthy of being the first voice that the audience hears.
Well, then
Um,
why don't we try it? We'll try it for. How about this? We commit to next season if I come in with research, and I usually will tell you beforehand.
mhm.
Um, and I think that was like true for like the myth episode, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, I think some stuff with Fighter, the ode to Fighter I had
Yes. And that's the other thing. You
going.
came up with a lot of episodes this season.
Um, why don't we say I'll take point when I've taken point on the backside, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
let's give it a shot.
Yeah, let's see. Because I'm curious. Because I feel like, I mean, between the two of us, you have much more podcast and radio experience.
That is true.
And so I'd be very curious to see how. So I feel like when I host, I'm very much like what's up, or I'm like trying to find questions to ask, and I know that that's like just part of hosting, but I'm curious like what that'll be like when you're in that seat, like what kinds of questions you'll ask me and what kinds of topics you'll bring to the table. Um, so yeah, I like that idea of if it's one of yours, you'll bring that vibe that host like welcome to the show energy, which I think that would be really great. I think to see and listen to, just because I feel like we've had over 100 episodes with my voice introing the show for the most part. Um, so I'm excited to try something different with that. But
Sounds like
also,
a plan.
yeah. Also, next year's leap year, so we got to do an episode on leap year.
Oh, we do. We definitely have to.
Yeah,
Such a weird thing.
I know, but we got to do one on leap year.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not gonna get another chance before the show's over.
Nope. 6 seasons in a movie. That's it.
Yeah, we're not doing
That's
8.
it.
Um,
No,
or I guess
this
we
is
would
the
need to do
moment.
7 seasons in a movie, but
I think
um,
so.
yeah, something
Something like that.
something like that. Or no, yeah, no, 8 seasons, because our 7th season would be the season that we're doing the movie, so it'd have to be 8 and a
Mm.
movie, which yeah, that just wouldn't work.
7 seasons in a movie.
Yeah. Rip.
That does not have the same ring to it.
No,
6 seasons in a movie.
Sorry, Community.
Anyways, I will say this. I'm afraid to say my voice is starting to give.
Okay.
So I think this is the note we're
it.
gonna have to we're gonna have to leave this season on, which little unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this has been fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to having more guests. We're gonna see in person. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
One of these years, we're gonna say it, and then it's gonna happen. I'm betting on this year.
Yeah.
And I hope we do a couple more weird things. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Me too. All right, everyone. As usual, you can listen to our show wherever you listen to podcasts. It's just Dane and Derek. I'm
Yep.
not even going to plug our social media.
Nope.
That's it. Maybe one of these days I'll build a nice website and we can put bonus stuff and weird tidbits on it.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because like when you pay for Adobe, you get like a bunch of you get like 5 free websites you can build.
Weird.
I know, and I was like, I should use this.
Yeah.
So you don't have a nice place to listen to the show other than like the Acast site, which are but yeah. And anyway, point being, you can listen to our show wherever you get podcasts. If you tweet at us or Instagram at us, I'll probably check it in a year. So
Yeah.
don't feel bad if we don't get back to you. We're bad about checking social media. And otherwise, enjoy your holiday break. Enjoy your winter break. Enjoy your end of year.
Yeah.
Take some chill time, and
we'll catch you in the new year, in the new season.
Yes.
Season 4, right? Right? 4.
Season 4. Yep.
Ooh, in 2024.
I know.
Oh, did we do that?
So
did we how did that wait, hold on. I know we were trying to leave, but like this need must be answered quickly.
So do you want to know how that happened?
Yes, tell me
here's how it happened. We started the show like September or October 2020.
Okay.
And we didn't do an end of year. We just kept going through 2021.
And then 2 was janky.
Well,
okay.
So we ended season 1 at the end of 2021. That's when we started the year thing.
Right.
And then season 2 was 2022. And so technically our show started 2020, but because we took a really long time and we started towards the end of 2020, we were just like, let's just keep going. Let's just take the holiday break. So I think at some point in the feed, there is like a break.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
Yeah. So it just happened naturally. And then now the end digit aligns with our seasons, which is very satisfying.
Oh, that's extremely satisfying.
I know.
Wonderful.
We did a really good job, buddy.
Yeah. Good for us. All right. On that note, let's see you in 2024 for season 4. Beautiful. Love it. Incredible.
Yes.
I'm gonna go be sick now.
Yeah.
Bye.
To a couple of lies, but hell, maybe I'm wrong. So listen to my song. What's left is only sand. Just listen to that band. But my dear, what do I hold? I wish that I was bold. I'm out here on the sand, not far from land, and sure, I'm warm, but I wish I was cold with you. Here's the problem. There's no life here, not a stem. It's all in the sea. The love, the lyrics, the life, see. I'm out here on the sand, not far from land, and sure I'm warm, but I wish I was cold with you. Sometimes you tell me jump in, come on and swim, but why am I still here? It all seems so clear. I'm out here on the sand, not far from land. Sure, I'm warm, but I wish I was cold with you. Out here on the sand, not far from land. Sure, I'm warm, but I wish I was cold